Yay.
I don't.
And we are live. Welcome, mystery and thriller fans. I'm your on-air host and author, Sara DiVello, and I am so excited to welcome back for the third time, #1 New York Times bestselling author, Maureen Johnson, here to give us the inside scoop on her brand new book, Death at Morning House. Maureen, welcome back to Mystery and Thriller Mavens. Tell us about this book.
Oh, first of all, thank you for having me. And I'm in my dressing gown tonight, everybody.
It's very fierce.
Not because I'm like a mysterious kind of person. It's because I have COVID, and this is as close I'm getting as to clothes right now. So like, I'm really I feel like I'm sitting upright. I got makeup on. 10-4, everybody, all you COVID people out there.
Oh my God, I just had it again myself. I'm so sorry. It sucks to be sick. I'm so sorry. Thank you for coming on anyway, in spite of your being under the weather, because I'm so excited to chat with you about Death at Morning House.
If I start to talk about the plot of a different book, it's because I have COVID. So I'll be like, it's about a woman who's trying to catch a whale, and it's not. It's just not. But I could say absolutely anything because, you have COVID and you're like, what is this? Do I eat it? What does it do? So this is Death at Morning House, I'm pretty sure. It is my new book. I've been so excited about it. It is a new standalone mystery. So I've been writing Stevie Bell mysteries for a while, and I decided I'm still doing those. But I also, because classic mysteries often have detectives that carry through many books, and then standalone cases. And I wanted to just throw a standalone case in there. And I've been planning this one for a long time. It's about Marlowe Wexler, who is a very romantic, very kind of well-intentioned person who lives in Syracuse, New York, who has been in love with a girl in her class for 4 years. Akilah Jones, the beautiful Akilah. And for all of high school, Marlowe has been just pining from afar, but they get a job together this last summer at an ice cream place. At Guffey's. And Marlowe decides it's time to try to ask her out because she's got a gift certificate to the Cheesecake Factory. And she does, but Marlowe's kind of other side job is that she helps take care of a lake house. And the owners live out of state, so she just kind of flushes the toilets and vacuums the carpet every once in a while and things like that. And so she invites Akilah there, and it's like, she's going to lay out this, she's going to play music, and she's got her a petrichor scented candle because that's Akilah's favorite smell.
I had to learn what that word meant.
So petrichor. It is the smell of the earth after the rain.
The loamy scent of earth.
It is the best smell. Like, truly, it is the greatest smell. I've had a petrichor scented candle, and it was okay at best. But so she finds one, and she finds the very best Etsy has to offer, and they have this beautiful moment until sometimes candles spark out and the glass can explode, and this one does, and the curtains catch on fire, and then the cabin burns down, and they're okay. But Marlowe basically at this point is like, I would like to bury myself in 16 feet of sand. And she gets an offer to leave town and take a job upstate in the Thousand Islands on an island called Ralston Island at a place called Morning House, which has been closed since 1932. And it is a house that was built by this family called the Ralstons that were very rich. I need to pause here because the Thousand Islands is this very unusual place. I used to hear about it when I was a kid. It is 1,800 islands located in the St. Lawrence River. And some of them are so small that they have a single house on them, but with nothing around it. So if you step out your front door, you go into the river, which is deep. It is a shipping channel. So some islands are just one tree on a rock. That's enough to be qualified as an island. If you are surrounded on all sides by water, and it's something like you are at least 1 square foot, you are surrounded on all sides by, maybe it's like 2 square feet, all sides by water, and either have a tree or have once had a tree. That's it.
Oh my God.
Those are the qualifications. But but some of them are huge. And millionaires and billionaires used to go up in the early 20th century and build mansions along the river. And they would truly, some of them are castles. And they would sort of yacht from island to island to hang out. So this is like a millionaire's row back in the day. And a lot of people live up there full time or in the summer. And the water is this glass green. It's really beautiful. She gets this job on this island in this house that has been closed since the 30s because one summer afternoon in the 1930s, 2 of the 7 children in this house died in separate accidents. And the family was so brokenhearted that they shut the house and they never went back. And this one summer, because a place has bought it, a kind of conservative super PAC has bought it, and for one summer the community can go on tours because it's been restored. And they needed one more tour guide, and her history teacher recommends her because she's got a great memory. The thing that nobody told Marlowe when she arrives and is one of a group of teenage tour guides is that she's taking over for a dead guy. And thus begins the tale of death at Morning House and what happened in this most recent summer, the guy who died, what happened, and also what happened in the past.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun,
Well,
dun, dun.
I'm so excited to chat with you about this, Maureen, and so excited to chat with everyone who is watching with us on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram Live.
Potentially Instagram if the button worked.
It worked. I have it right here on my computer. We have 26 people over here on Instagram, and we've got all our other people here on YouTube and Facebook, and we're all united in our love of mysteries and thrillers and cold cases. And
this is all about that. It's all about a historical, as I can see from Broadway Butterfly in the background, you love a 1920s, 1930s cold case.
This is my jam, Maureen. This is my jam. I'm not going to lie. I was so excited because, I love you and I love all of your books, and I have loved the Stevie Bell series. I've loved hosting you, and I always enjoy your books. But when I saw that there was a dual POV here back and forth between modern day Marlowe, who is, I think, in a word, irrepressible and hilariously funny. I'm literally laughing out loud. And then back to the world of Unity and Victory. Yes, these are these are the children's names.
Clara, Unity, Victory, Benjamin, Thomas, and Edward, and Max. Little Max. 6
are adopted. 1 is a biological child. It is a health-obsessed family who eats yogurt and stewed fruits every day. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to lie. I love yogurt and stewed fruits. So
I don't think you love the yogurt and stew, because this is all based on the actual historical, Battle Creek Sanatorium. This is all real stuff that used to happen. And they were, all the famous people used to go to this Battle Creek, like Amelia Earhart and the president, and it was where everybody went.
Oh my
God. It was kind of gross. They did gross stuff. It was really healthy, but it was kind of you could probably figure out how it was gross.
I can figure out. Yeah, I can imagine how it goes. I see Sam's Jams over on Instagram is saying, "I'm ready." And she's also saying the past and present POVs are so good. Let's get into some of the questions, Maureen, because they're pouring into you. We have Randy Trent, who's watching with us via YouTube. Hi, Randy. He says, "Hi, Sarah. Hi, Maureen. My wife and I have been really waiting for this." Oh, Randy, we're so happy to have you. Thank you for joining the conversation. Always such a pleasure to have you, sir. Jane is joining us on via Facebook. She says she's so sorry that you have COVID. Thank you for being with us. Thank you for being with us as well, Jane. Robin says, "Here we are. There you are. Hello, Sarah and Maureen via Facebook." Hi, Robin. And we have Robin saying she would love her own tiny island, even if it was just 1 square foot with at least 1 tree.
Honestly, once I went up there and visited, because I was supposed to fly on the day of the Great Northeastern Fires, which were located over Canada and really over Syracuse. And the day I was supposed to fly there, the 2 places that were covered in that orange fire were Syracuse and New York. That's the day that the sky turned orange. And I was like, okay, universe, I get it. Maybe I'm not supposed to go there. But I went the next week. It is genuinely one of the most beautiful places. It is once you go there, you're I don't understand why I'm not living here. It looks tropical. The water kind of glows from underneath.
Wow.
Like a greenish, the tropical green water. It's like that. It's very, very, very pure. And everyone there just lives on the river. The kids jet ski to work. That's true. I asked them, I was like, how do you get to work? They're like, we jet ski.
Oh my God.
Yeah. It's a beautiful existence.
that jet skiing to work.
You jet ski to islands, from island to island, and it's, and you swim. Everybody's swimming, and it's so nice.
It sounds so great.
Really nice.
ZXZX Bria is asking, so Maureen, when are the new tour dates? Because now you are not able to fly out tomorrow. So I'm going to cut and paste in to the comments. Here is Maureen's website, which is maureenjohnsonbooks.com, and then /events. And you can see the tour dates that she still hopes to make.
Well, so they're all going to be, we're rescheduling everything right now. We have 3 of them. One is confirmed. 2 are like, we're just waiting to basically get the, like the tick, like, yes, it's done. Let's put it live. And 2 are, so Chicago is definitely going to be on the 19th. We believe Tempe, Arizona is going to be on the 16th, and Boulder, Colorado should be on the 17th at 4 p.m. So we have Tempe on the 16th, Boulder on the 17th, and Chicago on the 19th. I haven't put those live yet because I haven't gotten the confirmations. And then we're working on St. Louis and Lexington, Kentucky.
So for that is so great to know. So the tour date, some of these tour dates are up in the link I just posted, and some of them are still to come, which Maureen just shared with you. And so keep checking her website.
Yes, more will be up by tomorrow.
It will be up by tomorrow. And for everyone who is not in those locations, which is most of us, you can order the book from our favorite woman-owned independent bookstore. That is Murder by the Book.
Murder by the Book.
Houston. And here is that link. And the good folks at Murder by the Book will send you a copy wherever you are. They do ship nationwide and internationally. So you can also order right here and get your copy at Death at Morning House.
Just the greatest store, by the way. Just one of my absolute favorites from Ralston. One of the nice things about being an author is getting to see bookstores around the country and the world. Like, you get to see bookstores around the world as well. And Murder by the Book is way up there. I'll tell you what, it's way up there. Such a good store.
Ariane and her books says she loved the island and the creepy, mysterious house setting. I'm seconding that. I love a creepy historical house. Lizzie's Beans wants to know, was this the book you broke into a castle for with JLB?
I have to think of what that means.
It sounds like something very mysterious.
Jen Lynn Barnes. Jen Lynn Barnes. Okay. So Jennifer Lynn Barnes, the author of The Inheritance Games, I was supposed to be with her in Texas on Friday. That one I can't make. That's Jen's event that I was going to be at. But so I'm going to say over 10 years ago, maybe 12 years ago, we were in Ireland. There were a group of writers in Ireland. There were maybe 10 of us. And Sarah Reese Brennan had arranged for the rental of a castle, which you can do in Ireland. They have them. And so a group of us, we left the castle for one night to go to this local town where there was one pub and one store that had one vegetable. So I bought the town vegetable. I mean, I bought the broccoli. I carried it home. I was it was like a torch. I was like, I have the broccoli. A cat adopted us. We ended up with a kitten. So we had a kitten, and that cat used to steal grilled cheese sandwiches. And because I was at the castle alone a lot, and this is weird. I had a sports bra on, and it was kind of loose. So he would follow me, and I just kind of stuffed him in there because it was easier to. Or then I had a hoodie and I kind of just stuffed him in there, and I carried him around the castle. And he would drag around grilled cheese sandwiches. But
Renee wants to know what drug you were on.
No, that's the thing. The drug was called a deadline, and we were late coming back. So it was like Cassie, Claire, and Holly Black. Who else was behind? Sarah Reese Brennan was behind. A group of people were behind us, and about 3 or 4 of us were ahead, including Jen, who is very like bendy flexy because she used to be a gymnast and she used to be a cheerleader. So she's very like bendy flexy. And we decided we would scare the others by prying open a window like this, literally like this much. And Jen Lynn Barnes bendy flexied through this little tiny gap like a snake and got in, and then slithered around and opened the door, and then we all went in and locked the door, and we hid. And we were so excited for the others to come in 5 minutes later. We were like,
oh my God.
And then we jumped out at them and nothing. They were like, okay, hi. And nothing. Nothing. Not for nothing. Also, that was the castle where, okay, guys, look, these were very horny animals in this barnyard around. And all these peacocks, these male peacocks were always like, hey, girls. And they were always jumping at us in the windows and like flashing their beautiful plumage at us and screaming. And then the kitchen had a half door and it was half open, and a peacock jumped on it. It was like, ladies. And they were always jumping in the windows late at night on the second floor and screaming at us.
Oh,
so we were always,
peacocks do shriek.
They shriek. So they were always like shrieking at us and like trying to get in. And we had this cat that stole grilled cheese sandwiches. And it was like a very beautiful and no drugs were involved. We were just like in there working.
Oh my God. Well, this sounds absolutely.
But your answer, your question is no. It is not. That is not the building that inspired it.
Oh, okay. Oh, yes, exactly. Thank you. Well, Maureen, Booklist awarded you a starred review, saying this is a standalone sapphic mystery following two equally gripping timelines: the Ralston family deaths and Marlowe's present-day sleuthing. Marlowe's excellent memory and love of puzzles serve her well, while her self-deprecating deadpan humor fills the narrative with quirky charm. Suspenseful, smartly executed, and hilarious. And you got also earned a starred review from Publishers Weekly, who praised your signature mix of wit and mystery, saying it shines in this compelling thriller. This secluded island setting, which is described to Marlowe as Death Disney World, ratchets up suspense as narration deftly alternates between Marlowe's self-deprecating reflections and flashbacks from 1932. The queer romance subplot adds warmth and depth. Another starred review from them, and then Kirkus also weighing in, saying Johnson's latest juxtaposes Marlowe's clever, funny first-person voice with chapters about a mysterious historical family. And I'm not going to lie, when I love to laugh, and Marlowe is so lovable and so irrepressible and just so relatable. But I would almost sometimes peek ahead because I wanted to get back to Clara, Victory, and Unity. I had to know what was going to happen to two of the seven kids. Because
I love writing those past sections.
Yeah.
I really find it very smooth and easy.
Yeah, it felt smooth and easy.
It really feels right. And it's the same in the Truly Devious, the Stevie Bell mysteries. A lot of times those past sections feel much like they glide a lot faster.
Yes. Interesting. Do you think you're going to be writing more from the 1930s?
I don't know. I mean, I like to go to lots of different periods. And I think there's a couple reasons. One is that you can work. So mysteries are all about looking back. It doesn't matter if you're only looking back 24 hours or if you're looking back 100 years.
Yeah.
You're always looking back and trying to figure out how you got to where you are now, even if it's a very short space of time. It's all about, let's go back. Let's look at all these different perspectives. Let's talk to all these witnesses, and let's try to reassemble the past to find out how this unfortunate thing has occurred. Generally speaking, unfortunate thing.
How this very unfortunate death.
Yeah, like let's roll the tape back and see how we got here.
Yes, that is so true. I never thought about that, and that's 100% true.
It's always about history. It's always about looking back, and a lot of what this book is about is actually, hopefully, not hitting anybody over the head with it. But there's a lot of American history that we don't. It's people act like it doesn't exist. It's not that. It's because it's not taught. It's not taught because what's taught is always selected. One of my first jobs was that editorially a long time ago was that I was a textbook editor. And we used to sell, I was part of an editorial team that you made textbooks for around the country. And you would get these lists of things that couldn't be in textbooks ever. And they often included like dice or dinosaurs or swimming pools. Like there was a whole list of stuff that you just like, well, it's got a swimming pool in it. We can't write it. We can't have it in there. There's always selection in history. So this is a story about looking back at what really happened with these people and this place, and why is it so venerated, and why is it really so great?
It's so interesting because I was a history minor and obviously wrote a book that takes place in
Yes.
1923. And this is something that I think about a lot as a history geek, as a history lover. Both what is put in and what is taken out, and who's making that choice, and whether history, which is literally his story, who is this he, and what does her story look like, and who gets to determine what is history, and who gets to determine what is truth and what is real. Because if you read 6 different biographies about the same person, those 6 different authors will make editorial choices about which scenes of their life to leave in, and also how to portray them. Did the president smile or did he smirk? And the word choice and all of those editorial choices leaves the reader with a certain impression. But who's making those choices? And I think this is something we don't talk enough about.
The book, I mentioned another book in this book, which is Josephine Tey's The Daughter of Time, which is a very, very famous classic mystery about a guy stuck in bed in the 1950s, an inspector who has nothing else to do because he has a broken leg and it's the 1950s. And he's just like, he's just stuck staring at the ceiling. And so his friends say, why don't you solve the mystery of the princess in the tower? And what did Richard III kill his nephews? And he's like, okay. So he begins by looking at the Richard III's portrait. And then he reads all these different biographies. And then he begins to assemble basically a case file on Richard III and what actually happened to the princess in the tower.
Ooh, interesting.
It's Josephine Tey. It's probably her most famous book.
I have never heard of it. Thank you.
It's an incredible, Josephine Tey is incredible. And this is the most incredible of her works. And one of the characters is reading it in there. So it's a little reference to like, how do we put our stories together?
Exactly. Now, Maureen, when you're putting your story up together, Renee wants to know, do you outline? So especially with something this complicated, where we've got Marlowe dealing with first her own personal stuff with Aquila, but also now in this same house that Clara, Victory, Unity, Edward, the other kids were in almost 100 years ago. And trying to keep their timeline straight, but also the current Marlowe's current timeline. Were we talking spreadsheets, Post-it notes? Are you just keeping it all in your head?
I always start with why. Never how, never who, but why. So I had the kind of germ of what I wanted this to be. And what I do first is I create case files of the crime, the event, and how it came, because it's serious. Having somebody murdered is a very, very serious thing. And you have to think of the motives and the reasons. Like what means, to actually have a gun or to stab somebody or, or just a quicker way to do it. A push, a fall, an omission of something. So I kind of assembled that story and I write the kind of solutions. So I'm like, this is what happened with this one. This is what happened with this one. They may get tweaked along the way, but I know what happened and I know who did it and I know why. And then I kind of work out from there. Because I write in Scrivener, which lets you do separate scenes and separate chapters. Yeah. So, I don't write in order. So I start building sections. Then there comes a point. Have you ever seen the picture of James Acaster from the Great British Bake Off, who comes in and he goes, came in, baked it, had a mental breakdown, bon appetit. Like he just freaks out and like makes this weird thing. There's always the had a mental breakdown part, which is I think integral to the process, where you're just like, well, I don't know how to write books. I guess I should put a bag over my head and burn off my fingerprints and get a fake passport, because this is it for me. I had a good run. And then I sit and kind of wobble for a bit and stare at the ceiling. And then I sometimes with my husband, cause he's a video game guy, and I say, okay, time to bring it up. And I bring up a giant online whiteboard, and then I kind of rant at him, and he writes the notes into everything I'm saying into little Post-its.
On the giant screen?
On the screen. So he puts it like, I don't like green posted, yellow posted. No, not that. Yes, no, put that there. And then I slowly kind of reassemble. I make sure that I know exactly what the timelines are. I'm very particular about that. There was a mistake actually in the arc that went out, and somebody wrote about it, and it was like a knife through my heart because I'm like, I know it was in the arc, it was uncorrected. I'll think about it all the time. But I like check all the timings. I like a map. I don't know.
Oh my God. I love a map. I just hosted Karen Slaughter again on Friday morning, and her new book has a map, and we all nerded out about how much we love maps.
Yeah.
And how any book with a map is an auto buy. And look at this beautiful map, you guys. Look at this beautiful map. Oh, it's so pretty. I'm making sure I'm trying to get it in. It's so pretty.
They always contain information. There's always something you need to know in the maps.
Oh my God. Okay. We have so many questions. Okay. Sam's Jams wants to know, do you think Marlowe and Stevie Bell would be friends?
Yes. I think that Marlowe would really like Stevie. And I think Stevie would like Marlowe, but Marlowe would be like, just come in and just start talking and talking and talking and talking and talking, because she doesn't know what to do about girls. And so she's always like, so anyway, and I think Stevie would just kind of sit there and be like, but then it would all be fine, because eventually Marlowe would run out of things to say, and then it would be fine, and they would get along fine.
I love that. F's mom says, this coming out on Audible at midnight does not bode well for my sleep tonight.
Sorry.
Yeah, the book does drop at midnight. And for all of audio lovers will get to enjoy it at midnight, and physical book readers will get to enjoy it via physical book. And you can order that again from our favorite woman-owned independent bookstore. Here it is, Murder by Book. So here's that link. Kylie Loves Books wants to know, is Morning House based on Bolt Castle?
Thank you for asking a little bit. It's sort of based on Bolt and sort of based on Singer Castle.
Ooh.
Singer Castle is a bit further out and is bonkers. It is like a true medieval castle. But Bolt Castle is the most famous building in the Thousand Islands, and it is this castle that was built by a very extremely rich man who worked for I forget, I was having this in my tongue, but I have COVID fog, you guys.
I totally get it.
But he was building it for his wife, and then his wife died, and they stopped like 4 months from the end of being constructed. Like, it was almost done, and then he just walked away. But they turned the island into the shape of a heart, so it's called Heart Island. And so yeah, a lot of the structures. So I kind of took and I took some of the footprints. A lot of those houses have the same general footprint, of morning rooms and how basic structures. One of the weirder things it was on the tour of Bolt Castle, which has been kept raw. It was vacant for years, like Morning House, and people graffitied it. So if you go to Bolt Castle, they've preserved that. So you can go up to the very top floors, and it's all the graffiti from like World War II era graffiti and like 1960s and 70s graffiti. That's all now part of its history.
Oh my gosh. That's interesting.
Yeah. So it's that is the detail I put into Morning House.
Kylie says, my grandparents lived in Alexandria Bay, and the map made me think of Bolt Castle, and even before I knew that it took place in the Thousand Islands. Oh, I love that.
That's where I stayed. I stayed in Alexandria Bay.
Yay. Okay, last question from Renee. How long did this take you to write?
About a year.
Okay.
About a year.
Y'all, this book has gotten so much incredible praise from the Nerd Daily, who talked about your terrifyingly good twists, and so many others. I'm popping it all in the comments so you can read it at your own pace. Robin says, I'm going to check out these islands as soon as we're done here.
It's
John
really nice.
is joining us from Northeast Ohio. Hi, John. Always a pleasure to see you. And we are out of time. Time flies when you are having this much fun. So we're going to let Maureen go rest. Renee says, I hope you feel better and rest.
I'm okay.
I'm
I'm at the tail end. And I'm at but if you saw me a day or two ago, I wouldn't have been quite like this. I would have been like this, but today. I'm better.
Oh, I'm sorry. H.M. Hurst says, I felt like there might have been a tiny ode to Crooked House.
I'm not saying a word, but you know what? This is all I'm going to say is this.
HM, you've got your finger on the pulse. I love it. Maureen Johnson, what a pleasure to host you again. Lucky number 3 for us here on Mystery and Thriller Mavens. I hope you rest and feel better, and I will look forward to hosting you a 4th time the next time.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me.
Y'all, thank you so much for joining us here for Mystery Monday. I hope your week is off to a killer start. May the pages of the days fly by, and I will see you next Monday. Stay tuned until then. I have a killer lineup for you. All right, Elle, that's a wrap.